All right, let's just jump right in. What if everything you think you know about demons, the horns, the fire, the whole pure evil thing, was actually a story? A story designed to distract you from what's really going on. Today, we're exploring a source that offers a totally new way of looking at this.
And this is the central question, right here. Forget the horror movies for a second and just chew on this idea. What if these forces weren't here to torment you, but to test you? To act as a kind of cosmic quality control for your own internal state? So, to even begin to wrap our heads around that, we first have to deconstruct all the cultural programming. This first part is all about peeling back those layers of myth to see what this source says is really underneath it all. So on one side, you have the myth we all know. Monsters, pure evil, external invaders launching random attacks. But on the other side is the reality presented by this source. Horns and flames? Nope. Try energy and vibration. Pure evil? It's reframed as being, well, functional. And this is the big one. They aren't external invaders. They're resonant mirrors conducting what are called coherence tests. So what are they then? The source gives them a pretty interesting name, frequency intelligences. Now, try not to think of them as beings in the way we usually do. Think of them more like conscious patterns of energy. They aren't good or evil, they're just a natural part of the universe's operating system, emerging from chaos and working within the law of polarity.
Okay, so if they're energetic mirrors, what exactly are they reflecting back at us? That's the big question, right? This next section gets into why they appear in the first place, and it has everything to do with what's going on inside of us.
And here is the absolute key. It is not random. It's not bad luck. According to this framework, these forces operate purely on resonance. They're drawn to a matching frequency. This means they only show up when your own energy field is broadcasting a very specific signal that they can lock onto. So what's creating that signal? The source calls them energetic openings, or you could think of them as leaks. And what are they? Well, they're all the powerful, unintegrated parts of ourselves. The anger we push down, the grief we don't process, the shame we hide, the fears we won't face. When we suppress this stuff, we're not getting rid of it. We're actually broadcasting it like a beacon. This quote really just boils it all down. It's a responsive system. They aren't the cause of the problem. In a way, they're the effect. They show up like a mirror to haunt, not your house, but the emotions and thought patterns you refuse to deal with. Okay, so if it's our inner state that's basically calling them in, how in the world do we change that state? This right here is the turning point. This is where we shift from being a victim, or what the source calls prey, to becoming a sovereign, whole individual. The process is all about integration. So, step one, you have to face the emotion, head on, no more running. Then, and this is huge, you acknowledge it without shame, without judgment. When you can do that, you naturally stop leaking that energy. You stop reacting. And the final piece? You become an integrated field, a person who can hold both their light and their shadow without fracturing. And the result of all that work? Well, it's simple and it's powerful. Your energetic field becomes a fortress. You're no longer penetrable by these forces because you're so internally aligned. You're not fighting anything off. There's no opening for them to get in. And this idea just completely flips the old concept of spiritual warfare on its head. The old war was about fighting darkness, using external shields, casting things out. But in this new reality, the goal isn't to fight. It's to become impenetrable, to be the fortress yourself. It shifts from a battle of morality, good versus evil, to a personal test of your own energetic coherence. All right, stick with me because this is the final part of the framework, and this is where it gets really mind-bending. What happens to your relationship with these forces once you've achieved that internal sovereignty? The transformation is pretty profound. Just look at this role reversal. Their old job? It was to test your coherence, to torment your wounds, to basically feed on your inner chaos. But once you become a stable, integrated signal, their new role, according to the source, is to actually align with that signal. They go from poking at your wounds to amplifying your intention and even protecting your energetic structure. This new relationship is described as an energetic pact. But hold on, it's not what you think. This isn't some deal signed in blood. It's an agreement forged in silence, in the moment when you face chaos and you choose not to react. In that moment of non-reaction, your coherence, your stability, becomes a law of physics that they are bound to follow. So you literally graduate. You go from being their food to being their signal. You're no longer a victim of chaos. You actually become a conductor of it. You're able to navigate it, structure it, and even channel it, all because you mastered those same energies within yourself first. And that leaves us with this final, incredibly powerful thought to take away. The war, the conflict, it doesn't end with a victory. It ends when you become so whole, so integrated, that you are simply no longer on the battlefield. So the question to take away from all this is a personal one. Are you available for battle?